Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in to Lights Up with Coach Care. If you've never listened to my show before, my name is Karen Cesario Rizzo, and I am a Lightworker and an Empath. I'm also an author, a certified spiritual life coach, certified relationship, health and wellness coach, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. I work with energies, angels, and spirit guides. And I never really talk about this very much, but I am a medium. So I know that that's not for everybody, but that's okay. I've learned that I'm going to just speak my truth, and whoever's not okay with it doesn't have to be. And so we'll just leave it at that. I usually don't bring that up. But when I say that I'm an author, I have written 3 books. I didn't write books just to write books because I wanted to write a book. I always knew I was going to write books. I just didn't know what I was going to write about. But I really do want to touch on it. It's not going to be so much on this episode, but on my next episode, probably more. But I do want to talk a little bit about the journey. So the title of this episode is The Awakening Journey. Life is happening for you, not to you. Okay, so I think we all know what that means. And if you're listening to my YouTube channel, then you are either awakened or awakening, and all that means is that you're aware. And to be aware is to be aware of self first, right? Because everything starts with ourselves. So the first book I wrote, again, I'm not really going to talk about it very much, but I just want to kind of touch on it. My first book is called Are You Living Your Life or Surviving Your Past? A medium's story of the ascension of her gifts through the healing of her past. So when I talk about life is happening for you, not to you, that's what this premise of this book is about. I'm not going to go much into it right now, but like I lost my job of 25 years. And, when things happen to us in our lives, it can either change us, shape us, teach us, accelerate our journey. It could, take us either to higher places, or if we haven't healed, it'll take us to that lower places. And we all have those lower energies in our lives, those places that we turn to when we think that, something bad is happening to us and we're in that victim mode. Poor me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my books in another podcast, another episode, but just for right now, everything that has happened to me in my life and to all of us in our lives is for a higher purpose. It's always for something higher. So I was just reminded of this because some people that I know recently have lost their jobs, and any kind of, and losing your job is like a betrayal. It's really hard. Like, I don't know if any of you has ever lost your job, and I don't mean quit a job. I mean lost your job, like you were asked to leave, like you were told, for whatever reason, that your services are no longer required, your job is no longer available. It's pretty devastating loss. It's really devastating. It's a breakup. It literally is a breakup. It's like being broken up in a relationship. It is so, it's such a betrayal, and it hurts like nothing anybody can really ever imagine if you haven't, if you ever had that happen to you. Even if it's a job that you didn't really care about, it's still really hurtful. It's really hurtful. So anyway, but these things that cause us pain in our lives can be transformative. Really, the universe starts the ball rolling by taking something away from you that you think you can't live without. That's like the universe doing it, because most of the time you're not going to quit the job, you're not going to break up with, a person, or you're not going to change something because it feels comfortable to you. But the universe is going to find a way to do it for you. It's because you can't do it yourself. So the universe steps in and says, I have a change to make, and I'm going to make this change. And so most of the time we're not ready for it, even though we know that it wasn't good for us. We're not ready for it. So the universe steps in and says, I know you're not ready, but guess what? I'm ready. and the universe starts the ball rolling. But these changes are transformative. What they transform, that part is up to you. The universe is like, okay, I took the first step and I'm going to help you on this journey. Let's make something out of what you think is pain. Let's do something with this. I did you a favor. I gave you this great gift. I took something out of your life that was not in alignment with you anymore. So let's move forward. Okay. I hope I'm making sense. I know I'm talking really fast, but so I know we've always heard, oh, everything happens for a reason, blah, blah, blah. But it's so true, because once you get into that mindset and you let the pain and the shame and the worry and the doubt and the anger work for you instead of against you, that's where the universe steps in and helps you turn those things around. So a lot of the things that hurt us are just other people's projections, right? And others' projections bring up emotions in us, which is, the hurt and the betrayal and, all those emotions that come up that were hidden for a long time, they come up to be dealt with. So even though it's really painful, it's really, really good, and it's really beneficial, even though it sucks, because when those things come up for us, we're used to, I was up to, if you read my book, I'll talk about this another time, but I was used to handling all those emotions through food, right? Other people can use it, other different ways to handle things, but I handled mine through food. So, but once we deal with each of these, that is where the healing is. So through the pain comes up those emotions that hurt and suck, and then what you do with them, that's where the universe steps in and says, hey, maybe you want to handle this a little different. You've been handling it through food for so long, but I've got an idea. Why don't we work through this and we can turn that around? I don't know. Anyway, that's just me. But anyway, when you realize that the projection and emotions are not your own, that's when you realize that the universe is doing this for you and not to you. Okay. I know, do you ever hear when I say, I've said this, God, enough, God, universe, whatever, enough. I cannot take anymore. Can you go pick on somebody else? Stop picking on me. But the universe, like when you really can hear and the universe will whisper to you, you'll thank me later. You're welcome. But that's when you get in alignment with yourself and get out of your ego and let the universe lead the way. I know that these things that happen to us that we think are horrible are actually always for our higher good. It does happen for you and not to you. I was thinking about like superheroes, like I've tried to make my pain, my fears, like all that stuff from my past actually be my superpower. And I was thinking about superheroes and, like my boys really love Batman, but I was thinking Batman became this crime fighter, this person to help others because of the pain of his past, right? That's like the premise for superheroes. Superman, his parents died too, like Batman's parents, and they just became these vigilantes for helping others. But villains are the same, but they use their pain to not help others, but to help themselves. Anyway, so if that makes sense. But my point to all of this is once you're awakened, and again, when I say awaken, I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about being aware. When you're aware of yourself and your reactions to things, when your reactions for life, no matter what happens, that's called awakening. You're just aware. And again, being aware of yourself is the hardest because we don't like to look in the mirror. Sometimes that mirror shows us things we don't want to see, if that makes sense. So yeah, the mirror can show us things that we want to see, but if you stand in the mirror long enough, it'll show you things you don't want to see. But go ahead and embrace those things that you think you don't want to see, be brave enough, again, set your ego aside and say, you know what, I'm ready to see those things that I didn't want to see. And then when you see them, you look at them. And, my cousin always says, shake hands with that, shake hands with that, because it's all part of you, and it's okay. Shake hands with that part of it and say, all right, I see you, and then deal with it. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps in what I'm trying to convey today, is that, again, life is happening for you, not to you. These are not things that are punishments. This is life. And life on this planet Earth is really tough. In the 3D, it's a tough life. It's a tough world. But you know what? It's also what you make of it, and it's what we make of it. And the great thing is that as human beings, we're capable of so many wonderful things. Yeah, we're capable of some horrific things, as we know all too well. But we're also capable of such love and connection with others. I always say this. When you see those movies about aliens coming from another planet, and they always say, you humans, you're capable of so much good and so much, not good. So many horrible things. But what I've tried to do is to embrace the light and to just be part of the good, because that's the whole point of me doing this podcast, is lights up, and why I wrote these books is because we all have these beautiful lights within us to shine, and it's our job on this planet in this time right now, especially, for us to shine our lights on each other and just be better. And if you can bring up that the dark sides and it's called shadow work. And if you could do the shadow work and not be afraid to look inside yourself and to say, okay, thanks for that happening. Now I know how I feel about it. Now I have to figure out why I feel like this about it. I know it's a process, but it's like algebra. Once you have the formula, all you have to do is plug in the issue, and then you can get through each one quicker, if that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that some of this made some sense to you today. All of this is within your power. All of this. We always have help from other people. We're sent messages. We're sent, angels and spirit guides. I believe in all of that. We're always sent help. All you have to do is ask, right? I always say, ask, believe, receive. Just ask for help. And if you believe it, you will receive it. You will. You'll ask, if you can't figure something out, just ask. And I promise you, within a few minutes, you'll have the answer. And I can attest to that in so many ways. Anyway, I really appreciate you tuning in and staying with me through this. I had a couple of times I had to stop recording, so I hope it doesn't sound choppy today, but stuff happens. But I hope that some of this made sense to you today and that something resonated with you. If so, thank you for not just tuning in, but for sharing and hopefully subscribing to my channel, because that makes a big difference if you can subscribe. And also, if you could like the video, that would be great. And I just want to say that, again, we all have these lights, burning in us. And each one of us is sent to somebody else at a certain time. You never know why you're sent to somebody. Each one of us has this gift. Each one of us has superpowers, right? That is my true belief, that each one of us has something to give and to share and to inspire. Each one of us. Be that person. You could be that person at any moment. Just turn the light on. When you go out to the grocery store or you go to the gas station, whatever, even if you smile at somebody, it's a tough world out there today. But when you're pumping gas and somebody's waiting to get in and pump right after you, give them a smile. Smiles help so much, and that's turning a light on. And I promise you they'll smile back. Okay, I can't promise that, but it doesn't matter, because your shining your light is really what is lighting up this planet. And it obviously is what we need so much on this planet. So check out my other videos if you're led to. And again, listen to them at any time. They're timeless. So if a title resonates with you, please go ahead and listen to it. Now, if you'd like more information on setting up coaching sessions with me, or even a reading, I do readings, or any of the other services I offer, my email address is listed in the description box below. I want to thank you again for tuning in today. It means so very much to me. Remember, keep your beautiful lights shining brightly, my friends. Lights up.